Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we are diving into something super useful, how to get way better results from AI. And here's the secret, it's not about being a tech genius. Nope, it's about becoming a better communicator. You know that feeling, right? You ask an AI for something specific, maybe a story or some advice, and what you get back is just blah. It's generic, it's unhelpful, and honestly kind of boring. We've all been there for sure. But here's the thing. What if I told you the problem isn't actually the AI? It's really just a communication gap. And the best part? You can totally fix it.
Okay, so why does AI misunderstand you? Well, it's not the AI's fault, it's the instructions. See, the quality of an AI's answer, it completely depends on the quality of your question, or what we call a prompt. I like to think of AI as this incredibly smart, super talented assistant who is also extremely literal. It can do almost anything you ask, but it's only going to do exactly what you tell it to.
And that's really the heart of it. A bad prompt? Well, it leads to a bad output. But a great prompt? That leads to a great output. It all boils down to this. Mastering how you ask is the absolute key to unlocking what AI can really do. You've probably heard the old saying in computing, garbage in, garbage out. Well, with AI, that's never been more true.
So, let's get into the art of prompting with a simple two-step framework. This is where you might hear this term prompt engineering thrown around. And I know, it sounds super technical, right? But don't worry, it's much simpler than it sounds. You definitely don't need to be an engineer to get good at this.
So what is it really? Prompt engineering is just the process of writing clear and effective instructions for an AI so you can get more accurate and useful results. That's it. It's the skill of giving good instructions. And we're going to boil that whole idea down to two core concepts that are super easy to remember and will totally change the game for you. Okay, ready for it? Here it is. Step 1, assign a role. Step 2, define the task. That's the whole framework. Seriously, first you tell the AI who to be. Should it be a teacher, a coach, a storyteller? You give it a persona. Then you define the task. You explain exactly what you need it to do with all the important details. Okay, let's see how this actually works.
All right, let's go from bad to good prompts and see the difference in action. Because honestly, the best way to get this is just to see it work. We're going to look at a few real-world examples, and you'll see how this simple little framework can transform a fuzzy request into an incredibly powerful tool. Okay, let's say you're a student. The bad prompt is just explain photosynthesis. Super vague, right? You have no idea what you're going to get back. Now look at the good prompt. It starts with step 1, act as a science teacher. Boom, there's the role. Then step 2, defining the task. Explain photosynthesis in simple words for a 10-year-old using short sentences and one real-life example. See how specific that is? The results you get from these two prompts will be night and day. It's not even a contest.
Let's try another one for a writer. The bad prompt, write a story about a robot. Again, this could be anything, a sci-fi epic, a technical manual, who knows? But the good prompt, first the role, act as a professional story writer. Nice. Then the task, create a short, funny story about a schoolboy who finds a talking robot in his classroom. Keep it easy for students to read. You're giving it all the context it needs, a funny story for students, and you're going to get something so much more creative and targeted.
Okay, how about for a job seeker? This is where it gets really practical. The bad prompt? Help me for an interview. I mean, that's more of a desperate plea than a command, right? The AI has no idea where to start. But look at the good one. The role, you are an HR interview coach. Perfect. The task, give me 5 common interview questions for a sales executive job with sample answers that sound confident. Now you're not getting generic tips, you're getting actual, actionable advice that you can use immediately.
So prompting is a process. Your first prompt is just the beginning. But what happens if your first good prompt still isn't, perfect? Well, this is the final crucial piece of the puzzle. It's not about one single perfect command. The real magic, the real power, comes when you realize this whole thing is a conversation.
There's this fantastic analogy for this process. Think of it like making a rangoli. Your first prompt is just the outline. For those who might not know, a rangoli is this beautiful, intricate art form from India, made with colored powders. And it's just a perfect way to think about the creative back and forth with an AI. So think about it in these steps. First, you create the outline. That's your first prompt, which gets you a basic response. Then you start adding the color. Your next prompt asks for changes, for refinements. And finally, you add the final touches. These are your last few prompts where you add all those little details to make the output absolutely perfect, exactly what you had in your head.
This process of refining your prompt is where you really take the driver's seat. Your first output? It's just a first draft. You can always follow up with simple tweaks. Things like, now write this in Hindi, or hey, explain this using bullet points, or even make the tone more professional. You can ask it to add a conclusion. The conversation just keeps going until you're happy with the result. You're in control.
So now you're the director, not just a user. What will you create? Because that's the big takeaway here. It's all about a mindset shift. You're not just a user, typing a question into a box anymore. You are the director, and the AI is your creative partner. You set the stage, you define the character, and you guide the performance until it's just right. So with this new skill, the question isn't, what can AI do anymore? The real question is, what will you create